You're not lost, you're just listening to everyone else. Have you got so drowned out by all the noise around you that you've lost track of your own voice and you're lacking confidence, you're lacking self-love, you're lacking self-esteem because you really want to get back out there and be you? Well, today we're going to talk about that in the episode. Disclaimer: any of the guidance offered by the podcast host, myself, or the podcast guests is our own guidance. We are not liable for any of the actions the podcast listener decides to do. So welcome back to the podcast. Now, I decided to talk about this because there's just so much noise on social media and the world, not just social media, in the world as well. And social media can be a good thing. You can connect with people, you can make all sorts of connections, and it gives you a lot of opportunities. I like podcasting because you can listen to people on the go. That's why I like listening to podcasts. I like listening to audiobooks. I like listening to the courses and things I've invested in for my growth, a lot on the go. And that's great. But things like social media is all about like information, showing off. This person did this person did this. Like every time it's full of people saying this is how to make that much money. My strategy is the right strategy. Their strategy is the wrong strategy. I'm always right, they're always wrong. And the next person's like, no, that's wrong. And it's just like, do you get a headache? And then you're like, well, I feel like this will suit me. And then someone who's a very good salesperson or marketer, and I'm in sales, I love sales, but I always like to guide people to their own greatness and what's right for them. But like, there's a lot of great marketers and salespeople out there, and then they can convince you that you're something that you're not. I've definitely been down that route. I remember joining a coaching program, and there were many people in there, and they were like, this is really exciting. And the guy was really good at like marketing. And he's a good guy, right? And really top podcaster as well. And people go in and they had really good salespeople that he had trained. He was a really good former salesperson. And people get in there wanting to be coaches. And they realize they didn't want to be coaches. They're just been hearing so much from him. And they loved his, like all his motivational stuff. And they were like, this isn't even what I want to do. And I see that so many times. Like, we're chasing things that we don't want to do, and then we lose our own voice. And what I love about the people I've had the chance to work with is about allowing them to really share their voice and be who they are. And that's something I offer. You know, I offer support and working personally with people as well. I want to take a quick pause to ask you a question. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I know I could make a bigger impact if I just had the confidence to put myself out there? Well, if that's you, I've pulled together a free visibility starter kit for you. Now, this is pulled a lot of practical tools that has helped me grow in my career, in my business, and from my 6, 7, 8 figure guests who have really been able to make a massive impact with their voice in their professional life. Now, this is for you to stop hiding, own your voice, and start growing in your professional life by sharing what you are, what you know, and stop playing small. Stop feeling invisible and stop getting less than you deserve. This is completely free for you, and you can find it linked in the description below. I'd also love to hear what you think about it. Now, let's get you back to today's episode. And I really want to allow people to share more of who they are, because I've been in life, I've been like so confused on the direction I was going, jumping from thing to thing. I've been in a place of like, well, what's the right thing to say, rather than abandoning what I truly wanted to say or ask. It's wrong to ask questions and all these kind of things, because I just lost who I was many times in my life. And for a lot of work, for a lot of like deep work, you know, going to things like the Amazon rainforest, men's work, countless different modalities, I've really allowed myself to come back to me and share my own voice. And that's why I get so hyped up on this podcast, because I love sharing. And I get to express who I am and add value to you as well. I want you to share your voice and be more of who you are, and allow that to help you progress in your career, in your business, or any area of life, of course, as well. So I want to give some tips on things that have really helped me, that I've studied and then actually have worked for me when I've implemented them, that's really allowed me to kind of cut out that noise and tune into more of who I am. So let's dive into these. Number 1, find some time to be alone in silence with no demands, even without podcasts. As much as I want you to listen, I'd love you to listen to this podcast, and I want to add some positive impact. I also want you to find some time for yourself, alone. No music either, just alone. I love listening to binaural beats and relaxing music and all that kind of thing. But like, find some time with just you and you. You can sit. I've done this. I've been to the extreme and sat with myself in my room for 4 hours in silence. That was hard. That was really hard. I'm not going to lie. But you could just go for a 10, 20-minute walk in silence. You can take a notepad with you. Ideally, don't take your phone unless you really need to, because then you can get distracted and all that kind of thing. But yeah, you can take your phone, put it on airplane mode if you want as well. But like, find some time for you to be alone with you. Make it a daily activity, even if it's daily and you're like, I really can't find time. 5 minutes, you can find 5 minutes just to walk with yourself alone in silence. Because what I found that does, I start hearing the inner voice that's been drowned out by all the noise, that intuitive voice, that voice of telling me what I really want, who I am. So that's number one, what I say, because when you can connect that voice, you'll become more of you, and when you start connecting to that part of you, nothing feels greater than being who you truly are. But there's so much noise that voice can get drowned out. So allow that silence for it to emerge. Number two, allow your feminine energy to express. Now, feminine energy, this is not about being a woman. I want to be really clear on my understanding of feminine energy. Every human being, whatever gender you identify as, has feminine energy. Now, of course, some people are more in their feminine energy than the masculine energy, and then vice versa as well. And we won't go into gender or anything like that, but everyone's got feminine energy. Now, feminine energy is kind of like the emotions, the flow, the feelings. And I used to push that away a lot. It's all about like structure, work, execute. And as a result, the feelings, the emotions would just get out of control. But when you can allow yourself to start expressing them and feeling them, that really, for me, allowed me to connect to me more. So you can do things I found really useful, things like somatic dance, listening to music, dancing, moving about, not in any sequence, just how your body feels like expressing. Or breath work is a really, really good one. I'm a practitioner, and that's really, really helped me as well. So breath work, dancing, those are things that really, really help me, really expressing that energy that I've needed to. Yeah, like expressing is part of what I believe makes us human. But as adults, we forget about it. But look at kids, they don't hold back expressing unless they've obviously been really treated badly and told not to speak at all, which unfortunately is sadly is the case in some situations. But look at young kids who just are free and they're flowing. They're like, when they're upset. Now, you don't do that as an adult, just start kicking and screaming on the floor. Obviously, you can do it if you want, it's up to you. But it's like in your own home, but like we get so in our heads, we get so like built up. So just allow yourself to dance, to move, to express, to do breath work, to scream, just allow things out. If you're frustrated, scream it to a pillow. It's really healthy so you can connect to you rather than just being caught up in this whirlwind of all this information and what everyone else has said and done through the day. Number three, reduce social media and media as well. I try and I don't listen to the news, watch the news or read the news at all, because why do I want that shit in my head? Just being honest, right? It's like a bunch of information about something that's going. I know there's some tragic stories and things like that, but it's like, why am I worrying about things I can't control, right? So that's why I personally don't do it. And I've already got a lot of information in my head. Social media does that as well. It can be like quite a lot. Now, I like to post, I like to interact, and it's a habit I'm working on to cut it down. But like, reduce your social media, because then that'll drown out the information that's not relevant. Now, you can watch YouTube and things and entertainment. Absolutely, that's great. Right? But just don't catch yourself doom scrolling too much, and find a mechanism to cut it down. Put your phone in a box, you can put it on a timer, you can be accountable to someone. Just reducing social media will really allow you, and media as well, allow you to spend more time with you. And number four, tune into your body how situations and people feel. Because our bodies are like the best signals for like what's right and what's not. So when you feel like you're lost, from my experience, what I've learned and just going through this, you're in your head. You're so in your head, and your head's like in this fight or flight and like looking at all the dangers, analysing everything. And it can be really useful for making plans and logically thinking. It's great. But it could also be a place when you disconnect from your body of like just overthinking, being exhausted. So tune into your body. How's it feeling? Do you need rest? How does a situation feel to you? How do people feel to you? When you start tuning into that, you'll be more connected to who you are. And that's why I say the first 2 points are really, really key. Like allowing that silence and allowing that expression. as well. So those are the points I'm going to share with you. If you're feeling lost, you want to be more of you want to express more of who you are, that's what I've said. So number one, allow that silence. Find some time for silence just so you can connect with you. Number two, allow that feminine energy to flow through you. Number three, reduce social media and the media. You don't have to cut it out completely, although you can if you want. That might not be a bad idea for a spell. Number four, tune into your body and how situations and people feel. Because the more you can connect to that, the more you're going to be in tune with you and the more confident you'll be moving forward rather than being this like information overload in your head. So that is what I've got for you today in today's podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, share your voice by leading with your heart and not with fear. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Your support means a lot to me, so thank you. Now, if you're someone who really wants to share their voice, you feel like you're a little bit invisible at the moment, you're playing small, and you know you have an impact to create, you really want to share that voice, but maybe something's holding you back. Well, I've got some great news for you. That's why I've created my free Visibility Starter Kit. And you can find that linked in the show notes below this episode. Just click that link, it's completely free, and enjoy.